I'm Mohammed. I'm Paul. Good to meet you. I'm a podcast today. How's it going on a Friday?
Hi, Paul. Thank you very much for inviting me and to be to your podcast show. I'm very delighted to speak to you. Yes, as a Friday evening, I just come back from Bangladesh for a tour, visiting refugee camp in Cox's Bazar. So just a bit relaxing, nothing much to do.
That's great. So, as you know, this is a business podcast, and the reason I wanted you on here was obviously you work with the Rohingya people. Is that correct?
Yes, that's correct.
Yeah, and I'm aware that they're a diaspora sort of community. So, just give us a little bit about yourself and how you end up in Bangladesh trying to help these people. That'd be really interesting, Mohammed. Thank you.
Thank you. Let me quickly introduce to the audience who I am. So, my name is Mohammed Amin. I am the Chief Executive Officer of the Rohingya Centre of United Kingdom. I'm also the founder for this. It is an organization dedicated to supporting the Rohingya community locally in Bradford and across the UK as well as the globally, because there are currently 1.5 million Rohingya refugee in Cox's Bazar. They are densely populated and solely rely on humanitarian aid. They have no access to livelihood or any other opportunity apart from humanitarian aid. And myself, I came to the UK also as a Rohingya refugee back in early January 2012, who have no education, no language, no understanding of the cultures. But my journey has been one of resilience, learning, and purpose. The British society welcomed me to be that person. And coming that from 2012 to now, I've been graduated from Bolton University with the IT computer science. Since then, I have worked in various professional roles, including as an immigration consultant in a charity in Bradford, supporting vulnerable individual navigating complex system, as well as I become a civil servant working with the UK government system since last year.
You
And this
have co-
experience
you
has
have
been,
come a long way, haven't you?
yes, just trying my way, work around and to be contributor. Once you have you have been welcome and given them everything that you you never dream of. So I just want to showcase that there are many Rohingya like me who are eagerly waiting for a little of opportunity to bring their potential rather than to be a burden for the society and waiting for the next meal by provided by charity or humanitarian aid.
That's really interesting, and I'll pick up on that in a moment. So, just explain to us. Obviously, I'm aware what the Rohingya people are, but just give me why are they diaspora? Why are they? Just give us some background on your people. Not obviously not your journey is really interesting, but why are we here with this?
The Rohingya people is one of the indigenous, the ethnic people from Arakan. Arakan is situated in Southeast Asia in Myanmar, also currently known as previously known as a Burma, which was colonized by the British government and Britain, and they give independence in 1948. However, we Rohingya people become a part of Burma because before 200 years ago, the Arakan was kingdom of Arakan itself was ruled by the many generations, and Rohingya were from there. However, since Britain gave independence to the Burma, we have been excluded, not to be listed as one of the ethnic minority in Myanmar due to our race and religions of belief. We have been systematically targeted, persecuted, and now face genocide, and the world has witnessed in 2017. Currently there is a genocide case against Myanmar, the Burmese military, at the ICJ, International Court of Justice, since 2019. It's still ongoing. However, our fight has not ended. Still yet justice to be served. The Rohingya are one of the world's largest, the minority or persecuted community in the world, which is addressed by the United Nations High Commission.
And this is obviously your motivation to run the charity.
My motivations came like many Rohingya. My family also personally faced persecution in Myanmar, especially in Arakan. I was only 3 years old when my parents has to flee their beloved homeland. Everything they have had is because my mother saw her father was shot to death by the Burmese military. So then I grew up in refugee camps, and I had literally barely again waiting for the meal to survive, not to thrive. As a child, I deserve to have access to a meaningful educations, to know, to be critically, to make the right decision, so nobody can exploit me financially, sexually, you name it, all this form and shape. But that wasn't given to me. However, coming to the Britain, it's opened my eyes. Then I felt now that we Rohingya been just uh, become only beggar, basically asking people for support and help and donation. So my motivation came through, like me, if I can be in last 15 years be a professional, been educated, then there are fellow Rohingya children like me who are still in refugee camp and across the world don't have the opportunity like I have had. They can be like me, change maker, if they can have the education. So I want to be their voice, and to do that, I need a platform. That's why I founded Rohingya Centre of United Kingdom, to help people locally to be resilient. At the same time, they can navigate the system in the UK and UK society. Also, my people in the back home who are refugee camp is still in the limbo, and in refugee
So
camp in Cox's
you're
Bazar.
obviously, we're here. We're seeing migrant boats coming across the channel at the moment, Mohammed. That can't help your cause, can it?
Um, my vision and mission is not to, because the Britons welcome refugees from different country, legal or safe road, but there are no Rohingya coming in the Britain
No, I understand
by
that.
the vote.
I
By the
understand
vote.
that. I understand, but the
However,
actual the political landscape of
yes,
whether I'm
it
not suggesting they are coming by boat, but the political landscape must hamper your charity, or is it a positive?
Uh, there a bit of balance. The currently what we have seen in the news, and the government and the public are overwhelmed due to there are many immigrants and people who are coming to the UK in different sorts of illegal entry by boats. Um, uh, I wouldn't say all of them are needed protections in the Britain. Many of them are economic migrants. So of course, it is a right decision to protect its border, and at the same time, government need to be consider those people who genuinely need
Hmm.
protections, who are facing war, persecution, and
Yeah.
genocide,
Hmm.
to welcome them through the safe route, or at least not to to prevent to force refugee, or to prevent people to flee from their home.
So the question I was trying to ask you, I fully understand what you're saying, but does what's happening in on the UK borders, does that negatively or positively affect your charitable efforts?
Um, my charitable efforts is not directly involved with this what's happening to the Britain. Uh, Pretty much our local works is involved with the community,
Okay.
cross community, in the local community, including immigrant, migrants, a refugee, asylum seeker, even
Hmm.
people from Britain, because our doors open to everybody to come, finding an opportunity, finding a job, volunteering, to get to know, go connect for mental well-being, because everybody needs a mental health support these days. No matter, you don't have to be refugee, asylum seeker, or someone.
True.
That's what we do in the local level. But international work, again, it doesn't affect directly to my work, because my works involve with the direction the Rohingya people, to empower them through education,
Okay.
because I see through education we're giving them resource to be who they are, so they can make their own living out of through education.
And when you look at your charity, because it's it has operations, it is in many ways they are like a business. What have you learned about running a charity that you believe would align with business owners? What's the lessons you've learned there?
The Yes, charities are like similar to business model, but we are RCUK is a CIC, community interest company. Any income generated goes to the community back
Hmm.
to, but we don't have any paid services. All our services are free of charge for the community and community's well-being, and community rebuilding initiatives in the locally. But again, if there are how we sustain our services, individual donation and public donation, as well as government grants and local council grant and national lottery funding to help us do what we do to continue that. So, and if I compare to the business, again, the business profit goes to the business owner. So, where the model that we're working CIC is, if we have any business, similar model, if we make any business out of this, still this profit goes directly to the heart of the community,
Hmm.
to for the betterment of the community, improvement of the local community that we have, activity for children, activity for the young, to keep the young people engaged during the school holiday. And also a lot of night crime, there is exploitation across the local society in the across the Britain, an increase of crime. So we're trying to be part of the system to prevent those young people, save them from the exploitations and
Hmm.
crimes, to be more likely keeping them engaged in a positive way.
Have you found it easy running the charity? What's been your biggest
To be
challenge?
honest, yes, it is quite difficult, given that funding cards. There's not a lot support these days for the small community like us, to be to empower them what we do. Excellence. Even this year, we become in the local Telegraph and Bradford Council district a finalist for two a small charity, as well as making outstanding contribution to the Bradford district. So
Congratulations. Sounds
that
exciting.
shows that how good we are doing. But compared to other big charity and big businesses, we don't have much support compared to them. So
Hmm.
in that case, we are struggling to continue the work that we do. So we need a bit more support because we are small, but the impact that we make is bigger than anybody can imagine, because we're grassroots, we're local level, and we know the community, we know the people that we work with directly. The trust is built there. That's why our services are very popular within the community.
Hmm. And when you think about the charity that you're running, obviously money is always finance is always the challenge for charities and quite often for businesses. You know, we've all got so many projects that we want to run on. Um, but looking at your business, looking at your charity as a business, you know, do you employ staff? Are they all volunteers? And what are the challenges around having staff in your business?
Given that, as you rightly mentions, the funding is a big issue for the charity or community-led organizations like us, who don't benefit directly from this financial gain.
Hmm.
Reason why we have limited staff, and most of our staff run by volunteer-led, like myself, and I have a full-time jobs, and some of the time I take from my work and the weekend, a
Hmm.
condensed hour every Wednesday. I contribute my time free of charge for the community. I am passionate to give back to the society. And also others, like we take students from university, college, and also local community who are themselves professionals. They're also be part of us to contribute their time for the betterment of the society. Yeah. So majority of our people is volunteer led. Yeah.
Are they easy to manage?
Voluntarily, again, even towards volunteer, there's a cost involved for them, refreshments, a bit of transportation for them to come. It needs a bit of fueling, which is the money to import. I would say we're struggling. Yeah.
But what about actually managing of the people? Do they do as they're supposed to do?
Uh, yes, managing people is always hard, but we have a friendly cohorts, which we our motto is connecting dot. So we are learning from each other. That way we are empowering each other and supporting a better society. When we have that mindset, so we are like in equal on the same page. We are bringing everybody together in the same page, so nobody is superior here. We all learning from each other. So you are in your own platform, you are experts, and I am expert in my own field. So connecting this dot together will become a change of a change maker.
And thinking about um, a business and a charity. In many businesses they have a vision, they have an end goal. What is the vision within your charity? What is your end goal in your charity?
Uh, uh, our end goal of our community is to help people not to be dependent, be independent, be. I often use three words: uh, learn, skill, to get the dignity as well as self-reliance.
Hmm.
So we see the educations often on a book and paper and certification, and often people struggle to get a job with that degree, and after completion of certain educations.
Hmm.
So that's why you're focusing on hand-on skill development, given that the world is evolving with the AI and technology. So skills is very important part of qualification. When you have the skills, the doors are open for you and you get the dignity. When you have the skill and dignity, then you become self-reliant. Then you yourself financially self-sufficient to live your life. So you don't have to rely on society, on social service, or state benefits, or in other outside, like Rohingya context. You don't have to wait for the humanitarian aid to arrive, and people don't need to go to different state for the funding to provide for you. So you can be yourself a contributing to yourself, to your family, and your society. In fact, you can share your resource, your expertise to the wider society.
So you've
That's
got
the
so
ultimate
sorry.
visions of my charity, to give people education to have the skills through.
And when you work with these people, what is the most valuable education? What's the most valuable part of the education you find that they benefit the most from?
Local level, we prioritize English language because we see the language is the key to be sustainable, to be resilient, and to be who they are in this Britain,
Hmm.
to be on their feet. Without learning language, they won't be able to survive here. They become dependent. Even navigate the NHS and other system in the Britain, they need an interpreter, and that's costly. So they become automatically a burden for the system, right? So we focus. Anybody comes to our door, we want you to focus on education, which is the language, English language, to master that first
Hmm.
before anything else.
Okay, sounds makes
So,
makes
and
total
then
sense.
same, so that's the skill. And same thing that we do for overseas, like refugee camp. We have a project recently developed called Rohingya Educations Board, led by the Rohingya people itself. It's not an NGO led, it's not by any state led, it's Rohingya led education system to build the capacity to provide directly educations through skills to the Rohingya children, so they can take part into the global job opportunity sitting right in the refugee camp. That's the goal we're heading towards.
You talk to yourself, many are doing this volunteer. Did you say you're a civil servant in normal life?
Yes, I am. Yeah.
Is it who do you work with? The council, Bradford Council,
For the home office.
or the Home Office? Is
Yes.
that and how does that compare to running a charity?
Charities are public, so it's for the betterment of the society. I love what I do, part of the government, to contribute to my expertise in my small role, to help to make those my rules involved. It's a bit confidentiality due to the government's the policy. I often don't mention that, but here today I'm here to talk about the my charity, the Rohingya Centre of United Kingdom. Of course, I'm very, I am from my heart. I am a humanitarian person. When I give back to people, it makes me very happy. I never get tired, despite I have a full time jobs. I enjoy what I do, to give back to the community and to see smiling people in people's faces. Because once I was a refugee, I used to take in help and support. I thought that's the best way to please someone. But now when I start giving back, I actually become more pleased than I was taking from others.
Absolutely, givers gain, isn't it? If you give back,
Absolutely. I wouldn't know if I wouldn't give him back to the community, how it felt, literally. And I got that from my experience.
Yeah, so obviously I was trying to understand always the story behind the man, and you've shared that very eloquently, and it served you well all your giving. Obviously you're working for the Home Office. It must be an interesting life down there. So none of us particularly know the inside of political organisations. So thank you for sharing that. So
Uh,
thinking about which area you've talked about educating people, teaching them English. Absolutely couldn't agree with you more there. What would you want from the business community to support your charity other than send me some money? What would you want from them?
like many businesses need, the staff people. So we have also another program called Route to Employment. So when we have people like in Bradford, is also lots of refugee and immigrant community in Bradford. They often come with a lots of experience or the skills, but due to lack of the language to bridge that expertise to other the Britain businesses and organizations that cannot take part. So when we teach them in the short course program to master the English language, and then we then tailor what they're interested in the businesses that can contribute to the Britain society, right? So that's what we do. So in that case, we want the business to work with us to there are amazing people across the community who can be part of your business. They can be part of your next staff receptionist and for to provide IT expert. A lot of Indian and different community, Bangladeshi, Pakistani that we work with. A lot of in African community we work with. They're amazing. They are full of skill, but the English language is the barrier. That's why we master the language barrier so they can automatically become a contributor. They no longer depend on the Britain taxpayer money living their life in the UK. That's the goal we're working. The reason why we need businesses to work with us to to help us to do more what we do. So invest more money to empower more people. So we our capacity we can extend it. So our capacity at the moment is very smaller. So we want to extend what we do in order to reach beyond.
Okay. A few questions I normally ask people on these podcasts is thinking about a book or a person in business that you admire or has inspired you. Do you have a book and a person?
You mean I have read a book
A book that you've read or a person who's inspired you in this world?
the I am not really, a person of reading lots of books, and what inspire me is my life experiences.
Hmm.
Is something I learned living through refugee camp, and it's Britain society that actually inspire me when I come. The way people welcome me, the way my teachers in Bradford College treated me, and helped me way out the people of Britain, and they made me today who I am, and be a voice for myself, for my community. Most importantly, being resilience, being settled in a way how I found my way out because of them, and they inspire me every corner of me and my route to where I reach today.
And another question I normally ask is quite often we learn most from the mistakes we made. What learning mistake have you made throughout your life?
The learning mistake, I studied IT, and I regret because I am naturally a humanitarian person,
Yeah.
more likely being voice of others, giving to people. So I felt like at the stage it would be better for me to study law, a bit of social development, sort of academia background. That's what I'd regret. It's not a big regret, but yeah, it would help me a bit more to understand the law and regulation, international law, human rights law, and civil, society law sort of things. Yeah, community development. The reason why I'm now taking a short course called Community Leaders Program is provided by the Yorkshire Combined Authority.
Hmm.
It's a 3 months course I'm taking on to learn, because there's a lot to learn.
Yeah.
Learning's never ending. So, and I am keen to learn.
Hmm.
Yeah, to better me, to be best what I do at.
So I've asked you all the questions. Is there any questions you'd like to ask me?
Thank you very much, Paul, for this opportunity. I often don't get this sort of opportunity. I
You're
was
very welcome.
very humble and for your approach and reaching out to me and for giving me a platform to share my story. I know it's not one of the world best story, but of course it'll help the community to know who I am, to know what I do. And I have no question apart from being thankful to you and for your team. Amazing work that you do as well to spread positivity through people like me that you meet across. Thank
So
you so much.
thank you, man. But all all the stories that come on here, they're all interesting because you know, white, black, Asian, we all live on this world, and we're all connected somewhere. So all your stories, my stories, somewhere along the line, the threads cross and they make the world what it is. So I'm grateful for you being here as well.
Absolutely. So, the last note, if we're ending, I want to end my message to the people. Please, we all need help. We need to help each other in our way of life. Uh, you often find yourself, you need help. Sometimes you find yourself to help someone else. So, please keep helping each other to make the better world. We all one community, one race, and one humankind.
Absolutely.
And we want no hatred, and we want the love to win.
Thank you, Mohammed. That was amazing. Just
Thank you so much, Paul.
thank you. Thanks, Jamavir. Thank you, Mohammed. You did well. Was that okay for you,
Do we get
Mohammed?
do we get this